Good morning, everyone. We are finishing up our exhaust. The short shifter is in.
What year is it?
Yeah, we're on day 3.
I can't hold it together. Got to do to take the exhaust off. What you're going to want to do is come down here and you have 3 nuts in the flange here, which connects through here and all the way to the headers. Obviously, it's a little bit of a pain to get to from this angle, so somebody's going to take this little mud flap off. All you need is a T20 and a 10
What is
millimeter.
up, everybody? I noticed that when I was editing this video, I have 0 footage of removing the stock headers and the stock exhaust brackets that hold the exhaust up on the back side. Not that big of a deal. It's nuts and bolts. The header bolts take 13mm socket. You might want to get yourself a socket extension. It'll make it a little bit easier to get up inside of there. The hardest part of this job is coming up next. You'll see it. It was a huge pain in the butt. But we found a go around, and that's why we love doing these videos, to try to help you guys out, make your jobs easier. Comments, questions, concerns, please DM us on NorCal987 on Instagram, or just leave a comment down below, and we're more than happy to help. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Our mud piece is now off. You might have to use a little bit of lubricant or something just to get it off, whatever you need. Now, on the NorCal987 account, we like to over-exaggerate sometimes. But we already did the other side with these 3 nuts, and I'm not going to bullshit you guys. We spent over 3 hours trying to get this off. We did a little trick. We got off in about 3 seconds. So what you're going to need in this how-to tutorial is a hammer, you know, something small, something to get in there. And now this might scare you guys a little bit because most people don't like to mix it with cars. Fire! So with fire, a hammer, and your 12mm, we're going to go ahead and light this baby up. Go ahead and just hammer it down, get it out of our way. Gonna go ahead and undo this mug. Sometimes you do what you gotta do. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, if I don't want to go. Wait, how'd you bend it on the other side?
I get it. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Now you get the hammer. Watch that O2 sensor. It's,
Oh, is that what that is?
Yep.
Ah. Damn, man. It didn't look like you hit it that hard, but jeez.
I'm squirting everywhere with size of exactly where I want to squirt. Alright, you put some, this stuff's great. It's the penetrating blaster. And looks like we might be lucky. Ta-da! Got it! That only took us 2 seconds, so 3 hours. Welcome to my world the past couple hours. Here is an O2 sensor. It is on the back of the old header. I'll show you. So that old header sits like this. Okay, I am on the passenger side if you want to look at it that way. This is the old one. I'll show you how to unplug this. But to help you guys out with the back one on the 07 Porsche Cayman, there is, you scoot back here. That's obviously where the header went, right there. And so there is this plastic flap right here. It's just kind of like a, you know, underbody protector so it doesn't tear up all the components underneath the vehicle. There's several screws on the back side of it toward the front of the car that you'll unscrew. I'm having hell trying to take it off, but I was actually able to get my hand up in there. That is where the front O2 sensor, bank 1, bank 2, whatever, is located. There's a little holding clip right behind there. You can see it, but I'll get up in there. Right there, it just slides right into that deal. There's a tab right here that you have to push down on and then kind of use your hands at the same time to disconnect it. Yeah, it's really a pain. Found that connector for that sensor, passenger side, a back sensor. I'll try to get up in here and give you a view. There it is. So there it is. One thing nice that Porsche did do, so this is on the back side, like, you back up a little bit here so you can kind of see. So this is the wheel well. You kind of go up inside of here, take a hard look, see if you can find it, and it's literally sitting right there. So it's on the same type of clip that the front systems are on. You can just pull it towards you, and it comes right off. Okay, there we go. Now we just gotta pull this part off. I think to do it with one hand here. This is the clip here that you want to push down on. It should come right up, and it's not going to, because why would it? That would actually make it easy. This is on the driver's side, so you want to come up underneath here. Obviously, that's our O2 sensor. Now this is for the back O2 sensor, not the front ones. All right, so it's sneaky. So you have this cross member here. It's sitting on the back side of the cross member. So I can get in here a little closer for you. There's the connector right there. So it was a sneaky little mug, but I found it. Yay me. Did you get that?
Look at that. Oh my god.
Did you get it?
Yes, I did. Oh my god, it's taking so long. You guys have no idea. Oh my god. Number one, this is where the real fun begins. We finally get to install a brand new Performace exhaust. Here we have our brand new header, and obviously you have to put your O2 sensors back in, which would be here and here. We have two different ones here. We have a blue one, and we have a gray one. Which is supposed to go to which? Well, the easiest way to tell is by the plugs. And so this kind of weird, kind of hollowish plug goes where your cat was. If you look at our old header here, you can see that obviously we have the catalytic converter. We have the O2 sensor going straight into that here. And then we have this guy up here. So you want to keep that same orientation when you're installing onto the new header. Same ordeal. Here's where our catalytic converter would have been. So we put this into here. Same process with this one, just up front. Make sure you have your headers pointing how they will be actually under the car. So you can see this is for the driver's side. It'll go up into the car like this, and so that'll make just installing it, you know, a little less questionable. You won't have to second guess yourself. Luckily for us, we ordered our wires from Pelican Parts. Awesome guys, they have everything Porsche you could ever imagine. And so on here, our O2 sensor, it already comes with anti-seize on it, if you guys can see that. And so you won't have to put the anti-seize lubricant. It's already set on there, easy to install, easy to enjoy. Quick note for you guys, this little head, I guess you'd call it up top here, is very fragile. Don't scratch it, don't ding it, you know, I wouldn't put any scuff marks on it, you know, don't touch it with your bare hands, get the oils on it. So when you do install that, just make sure you don't accidentally, you know, scratch it on the header or anything like that. You want to be very careful. Tightening these on Just get it, you know, as snug as you can with your hand. Go over here with the wrench. You don't want to put them too tightly on and break them or have any complications, but you want it on tight enough to where you know it's really on there, and there isn't really much more room to screw it on. The reason we do this is, well, for a couple of reasons. One, just to make sure it is actually safely on there, it doesn't fall off when we're driving, there's no problems, there's no electrical issues when we turn the car on. Secondly, there's going to be a lot of airflow through here. And if we have air flowing in here from the outside and just a bunch of different sources, it can cause a lot of problems that we don't want to have to think about or deal with when we're trying to enjoy our new exhaust. Just get a handy dandy wrench. You know, make sure it's on there pretty good. Make sure it's snug. You know, you don't have to be, you know, super gentle with it. You know, it's not like glass. You're not gonna, you know, shatter it. But you also don't want to put it on there so tight that you'll never be able to get it off again. So you can see, you know, I can't really go anymore. It's kind of a pain. I could go more if I really put some muscle into it. That's good. That's all we need. So if you look, this is for the gray wire. You can see it kind of has this part that comes out here, kind of clicks in. This is for the rear, which in our case is obviously the gray. And for the blue, which is where our old cat would be, obviously the plug is very different. You have kind of this hollow point in here, it really sticks out, and so if you just compare the two, obviously, you know, it's very easy to tell the difference. So that's another way you can do that as well.
Is putting in the sole exhaust headers, hand tighten them up to kind of get them in there, and then you'll want to torque them up to 17 pounds. And right now Nate is just using a socket wrench just to kind of get in that little crevice area there to get the bolt on. On the new O2 sensor cable I got, you see this little deal here? I know it's kind of fuzzy, but this goes into a clip. That clip goes right up on the back side of this. If you're working on the car, you'll know it's like up behind here, right behind there. Unfortunately, where they put that doesn't reach that. So I just got creative and I ran, where's it at, right here, a zip tie. You just don't want this wire touching anything that's gonna get super hot, because then it'll burn it out and so on and so forth. There's a couple other spots too on the other side, same deal. I just tied them. I just kind of put a loop into it so it's not touching the exhaust. Kind of a little tip if you're putting in new O2 sensors on your exhaust.
One, as you saw on the other side, we're just going to do the same process here, getting this big piece of the exhaust connected to the headers, or the header in this instance. This is on the passenger side. When you are installing this, this might just be sold, maybe it's everyone. There is a gasket. So do make sure that you do put that between, obviously, the header piece and this exhaust piece. Now, some of you might be questioning yourself, well, why would we put a gasket here? Can't you just connect it just fine? Well, we put the gasket here for two reasons. One, because, you know, it's just part of what you got to do. And two, it'll keep leaks from happening. There's quite a few notes that are extraordinarily crucial. These are only instructions, but in case yours get torn up or you just haven't done this before, you don't have them. You want to work from the front of the exhaust all the way to the rear of the car. So that's starting from the headers all the way to the exhaust tips. When you do your headers, which are 13 millimeter, make sure you tighten them to 17 pound-feet of torque. We did about 17 and a half just to double make sure. Make sure you have your gaskets on there. Make sure all the nuts are on there properly, or the bolts, excuse me. So 17 pounds is good. Once you're done with your headers, you want to come over and do your flanges. These don't have a requirement torque, just tie them, you know, as much as you can. Don't forget your gasket. Then we're going to move on down the exhaust here, and we have this little clamp with the U-bolt. You can see this is really loose right now. Once I'm done with the flanges, I'll be moving down here, and I'll be finishing up tightening up this little metal bracket. And then once I'm done with that, I'll tighten this up, tighten up the U-bolt. I'll do that on the other side. We'll tighten up the X-pipe, do our exhaust tips, and we'll be done. Ladies and gentlemen, the sole exhaust is put in, it is done.
Check out the sweet customized 987 that Soul did for us. That just looks amazing. Nate is gonna do the honors by starting her up. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait to hear it. Let's do this.
Go ahead and go by the exhaust.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right. Okay, so I went underneath. There's no leaks anywhere. Everything is running good. I'm just gonna give it a couple guns. If I get a couple more reps. Oh.
Did you hear it pop?
Fire came out.
Did it?
Yeah.
And that is beautiful.